Good morning, friends. Today, this broadcast is coming to you from the office. And the reason is because some of you shared that it was a little bit too noisy in the shul, which I guess is a good thing because it's full and there are multiple services going on. But for the next few days, I guess we'll do it here and then things will get a little quieter. But I do encourage you to ask questions, to share, to like, to subscribe, and any feedback is appreciated. So today's topic is called Meet the King, which is really the theme of this entire month, the month of Elul, which is the last month of the year, and therefore a preparatory month to the new year. Rosh Hashanah begins in just a few weeks, September 18th, and we prepare this entire month by taking stock and looking how the last year went, literally from the beginning of the year. What was it like? What were the things that we wish we didn't do and want to make sure we don't do them this year, this coming year? What are the good things that we want to do more of? And make some concrete decisions and resolutions in regards to our behaviors and our conduct for the coming year. And in Chassidus, there is this mashal, this analogy, it's a story about a king that before the king comes to a city, he goes to the fields, the outskirts of the city. And in the fields, anyone that wants could come and talk to the king. It's not like when he's in his palace and it's very, very hard to get an appointment. You can't just come see the king. If you have connections, you're some type of minister, you have an inn, and you wait a very long time, you could probably get a meeting with the king. But if you're just a commoner, to go and try to meet the king, it's impossible. Except when he's traveling and he's coming to a city. Before he comes to a city, he goes to the outskirts, he goes to the fields, he's mingling with the people, so to speak, and anyone that wants to come and talk to him. He's on, if you want to use the term, a campaign trail. Very accessible, very personable. He greets everyone, he smiles, he shows them a very happy face. And that's really the relationship and what happens with the king while he is on the way to the city. But once he comes into the city, then it's all over. He gets into the palace. Now he's not this smiley, friendly king. He means business. One wrong word, one wrong move could cost you your life. It's a whole different type of relationship, a different attitude with the king. The analogy is that during the month of Elul, Hashem is in the field. God is the king of all kings, and he's in the field. And anyone that wants could go and converse with him, talk to him, meet him, reach out to him. And Hashem responds. He smiles, he's happy to see you. He doesn't say, well, wait 1 second, what level are you at? How spiritual are you? How devout are you? How much have you done or learned or and so on? He doesn't say any of that. It's like a common person coming to greet the king in the field. He's happy to see you. He's there. He's smiley, and everything's great. And therefore, it's a great time, a very auspicious time, to make some major changes because you have God's ear. Now, we always have God's ear, but this month he's much, much more accessible. The Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, tells us that when if a person needs to buy a house, needs to buy a house, if you can, buy in this month of Elul, because it's a good month. There's a lot of compassion from God. And the same applies to medical procedures. If somebody needs something, and it's up to them when they do it, it's either it's elective or they could decide when to do it in the month of Elul, because this is a month which you have God's compassion. It's a positive month. He's in the field, he's smiling at everyone, he wants to see us, he wants to connect with us, and he's not necessarily measuring so much, are we worth it, do we deserve it or not. Let me just adjust the tefillin here, and we continue. And as we progress from the month of Elul into the high holidays, into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that's when Hashem has gone into the palace. That's when he's on his throne. That's when he's sitting in a mode of judgment, and you can't exactly get just to see him because you want to. You need to have connections, you have to be ready, you have to wait. You don't just walk in, he's not in the field. I want to stress that Hashem is always accessible. But when you get into Kabbalistic teachings and in Hasidic philosophy, we're explaining the different levels or strategies in our relationship to God. So the month of Elul is a very smiley, open, compassionate relationship, which is why this month is not even a holiday. It's a very auspicious time, it's a very holy time, but it's not a holiday. Because Hashem is coming to us in the mundane, if you will. On Yom Kippur, when Hashem is on the throne, on Rosh Hashanah, the day of judgment for all of humanity, Hashem is, let's just say, strict. He's royal. There is a system. You're not just meeting him in the field. And the difference is that when you walk into a palace, even today, if you go to any of the palaces, in France, they have a lot of them, or other places where you go to see them, you could tell the grandeur. And you could feel, in a sense, that just entering the palace caused you to have a certain awe or a fear, recognizing that you're about to enter to the palace of the king. And the same applies in life. You have certain situations, like holidays, for example, where you come into Shul on Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, the aura, the way people are dressed, the songs that are being sung, the day itself, it just gives you this inspiration where you want to change, you want to do more, you feel it's Rosh Hashanah, it's Yom Kippur, we got to do something, which is great, but it's an external impact on you. It's not you that's making that change. Something is happening around you, which is sweeping you into a mode. And of course, the danger is, and the risk is, that when Rosh Hashanah is finished, you're done. Or when Yom Kippur ends, so does your inspiration. And the beauty of this month of Elul is that there's nothing going on which is causing you to feel a certain way. It's not Rosh Hashanah. It's not the 10 days of Tshuva. It's not Yom Kippur. It's just a typical day. It's a weekday. And therefore, we have the tremendous opportunity to make changes in our lives that will last. Because when you do something on your own, when you put in your own effort, it lasts. If someone just inspired you and as a result you decided you're going on a diet, and as a result you decided you're going to change your behaviors, once that inspiration is gone, it's over. But if you took your life in your hands, as they say, and decided to make a change, it's much more lasting because it takes effort. So the month of Elul, you're not swept away to that feeling. And this is really the concept or the idea of the month of Elul, and it's expressed in the name of Elul. Because the name of Elul, the word Elul, is an acronym for Ani l'Daidi v'Daidi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. Now, we're the Jewish people, we are l'Daidi, to our beloved, which is God. V'Daidi li, and our beloved is to me, which is God is to me. And it's two directional. We are going towards God. That's the month of Elul. We are coming and saying we're getting close to Rosh Hashanah. We want to reach out to the King. We want to see him, and he's accessible. We're doing our part. He's receiving us. We're making changes. We're getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. The Daidi Li is the second part, which happens on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where Hashem comes to us. He's inspiring us. He's getting us to make those changes. And in general, it's two approaches of love for God or fear, awe of God. There's two ways how you're inspired, how you relate to God. There is one way is ahava, which is love. You want to get close to him. You appreciate him. You want to do whatever Hashem wants from you. You don't want to do something that he doesn't want, and so on. The other way is yira, where there's a certain fear, whether it's fear of punishment, which is a low, shallow type of fear, or it's fear of his greatness. You know, when you're in front of some awesome, even in nature, you're in front of a big mountain, or you're overlooking this vast valley, it causes a certain awe. You're blown away by it. So fear doesn't have to mean that you're scared, but it's you're small and he's great. It's beyond you. And that mode of fear, of awe, that's in the high holidays. And there's a big difference between them. Now, we need both all the time. You have to have the relationship, in all your relationships, really, you have to have the relationship of loving and of respecting, of giving and of having that space, and so on. But this month of Elul, and that's really the theme of our getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, is that we're putting in our own efforts. We're doing our part, trying to get closer to Hashem. And we do that by making changes in the three pillars of life, which are thought, speech, and action. If we could control, improve what we think and what we say and what we do, then our foundation is strong. When we come into the new year, we're not just a commoner. We come to the palace on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur with an appointment, with connections, and so on. Well, friends, I wish you all a great day. Make it amazing. And share, like, subscribe. Thank you.